because they just wait. And so my question is, if governors are hesitant to sign these death warrants, how does it impact the effectiveness of the death penalty? As they're going to do, like I said, you to prison, how it could happen. But the man said, Barrister Eugene, he is a practitioner and a public affairs analyst. He joins me via the phone. Good evening, Barrister Ode. Thanks for making the time.
Thank you for having me once again, Chinedu.
Yes, indeed. It's a pleasure.
Good evening, listeners.
How are you doing, sir?
Excellent. And I hope you're also doing good.
Yes, I'm amazing. So straight to business. If governors are hesitant to sign death warrants, how exactly does it impact the effectiveness of the death penalty as a deterrent for kidnapping?
Well, I think your question already has an answer in it. If the court has rightly sentenced a convict who has been found guilty of taking the life of another person, and then pass the ball to the governor to assent to the execution of the sentence, and the governor feels it reduces the effect of the law itself, because the capping, should I say the icing of the cake, is actually the signature and the assent of the governor to execute the warrant, the death warrant from the court. So for me, I think if we really want to make that law effective, I think we should be thinking of amending the procedural law itself, which gives the governor the final say in deciding the execution of the sentence, the death sentence on convict. I think if we can excuse the governor from the chain of command, that it ends only with the court, so that once the court decides, it goes to the correctional facilities for execution, because the governor's consent for me is superfluous. It's superfluous. And I know most of these governors, these politicians, they have their reservations as to execution of this judgment. Because if you look at most of these people who get involved in these high caliber offenses, some of them are political students. Some of them are used during the election. You understand? So it becomes very difficult for governors to look these young men in the face, having used them during the election, and then sign their death warrants at the end of the day. So it's for this reason that I would have proposed that instead of making more laws, we have too many laws in this country, but we observe and obey those laws in breach. Okay? So it makes nonsense of the entire criminal justice system. If at the end of the day judgments are not executed, it reduces the effect and the impact of those laws.
Yeah.
So for me, I think we should look deeper than just creating those laws, but ensuring that those laws are actually executed to the very letter. So I think the next amendment that this House of Assembly and the National Assembly should be looking at is how to remove the function of the governor in the administration of criminal justice system vis-a-vis execution of sentences at the end of the day.
Okay, that would definitely have an impact. But while we're talking about removing the governors from being a part of the process, why were they a part of it in the first place?
Well, sometimes, let's be fair to ourselves. They say in our legal balance that it's better to allow 10 suspected criminals to go free than to convict one innocent man. Usually, sometimes, there could be some errors in the process. And believe it or not, so many innocent people have been caught in that web of judicial errors, the part of both the judiciary and even the police itself, that are the, should I say, the originators of criminal proceedings. It actually, the bulk starts with arrest, and that's the police. Sometimes we have had police barge into premises where they suspect that criminals are hiding, and then they carry out what they call mass arrest. And at the end of the day, they end up arresting innocent people. And some of those people who probably are unable to bail themselves end up becoming victims of the judicial process.
Yeah.
And of course, you will need a very good sound lawyer to be able to stand for you in those matters. And so when you get a poor man who you just arrested from a bacha, who doesn't even have money to feed, and then you subject him through those kind of high caliber charges, and is unable to afford a lawyer, and he goes to stand trial, he doesn't even know what to say to do to get himself out of trouble. At the end of the day, you find out that the system would have been activated against a helpless person, and then he's convicted for something he did not participate in or commit. So that's why most times the system itself also creates a kind of measures to slow down the process, to see if there could be another way around it, because the delay in the governor's assent sometimes may lead to interested civil society organizations to review those cases. And sometimes you have heard that some people who are on death row had their matters reviewed, and eventually they were found innocent of the crimes they were alleged to have committed. So if it was just a fast movement to execution, you'd have ended up executing an innocent person. So for me, I think that because the system itself is so imperfect, it also gives room to also save innocent lives who are languishing innocently in prison custody are awaiting execution.
So wouldn't it be better to review the process, the system that gets you to the point of being sentenced, to have, if you may, a very minimal margin for error? A case where they say if this system says you're guilty 9 out of 10 times, it is correct. Is that not a better system, to strengthen the system rather, instead of hoping that...
we have been shouting over the rooftop that the criminal justice system is overdue for total overhauling. And you cannot be talking about overhauling the system without strengthening institutions. We have very weak institutions. The police is in total disarray. The police system is in total disarray. And there's no mincing words. In fact, the police, probably we may need to collapse the entire structure and rebuild a fresh Nigerian police, because the one we have now can no longer serve the purpose. But to the police station and see for yourself. You don't even have police barracks anymore. Policemen are meant to live with civilians in the streets, exposing policemen to all kinds of hazards. Look at their uniform. Policemen buy their own uniforms for themselves. You understand? The entire system is in shambles. And then when you have a big Nigerian police system, you don't expect the judiciary, because it's garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah.
When they come with these things like that, the court is bound to take what is served them, work on only what is available to them. The court does not descend into doing these matters. And of course, we need to also look at, if you want to also x-ray the aspects of maybe the Attorney General's office, you know that even the law mandates the Attorney General to supervise the activities of the Nigerian police force. I don't know if the Attorney Generals of this state are aware that their powers also includes supervisory role over functions and duties of the Nigerian police force. But again, if you empower the Attorney General to exercise supervisory role over the Nigerian police force, okay, then you now have a Nigerian police force that is rotting to the very roots. How do you do that?
Okay.
How do you do that? So we are talking about reviewing the entire system. And it begins with a functional police force.
All right. We have to take a break now. And after that, of course, we keep talking for development. Please stay with us.
Not a problem.
after this break on Nigeria.
2.3 Nigeria Info, Sam Oracle Chinedu here. And I believe I still have my guest, Barrister Eugene Ode, on the phone. You're welcome once again, sir.
Thank you very much, Sam. I'm still here.
What effect will this have? And he was saying, well, it's to amending to remove the first. So, that, like it is said, it's better 10 guilty people walk free than one innocent person. I can't remember how the saying goes,
Exactly. And I was saying that to make an argument for the reason why we may even have to review this death sentence issue. The world is gradually departing from this capital extreme punishment. Most countries prefer penitentiaries instead of prisons. In fact, in Nigeria, prison reforms, if you remember, President Goodluck Jonathan initiated prison reforms to an extent where, in fact, the whole essence of the criminal justice system was not to punish, but to correct, reform, and reintroduce bad people you may call bad people back into the society after they have been reformed. So the correctional facilities are actually supposed to be like a place where you refine and correct and rebuild character, introduce these people back into the society. It wasn't supposed to actually be for punishment per se. The whole essence of criminal justice system, if we remove the idea of punishment, then you will also see that death sentence really does not create deterrent. Because for all the people that have been executed, those who have been killed, those who have been sentenced to life in prison, we still have this crime committed on a daily basis. So it really doesn't serve the ultimate purpose for which those who subscribe to those extreme punishments are actually pushing. I would have been advocating now. I've actually advocated for the abolition of death sentence. Also because of the argument that I put forward before, that some innocent people have died in the process, as we have found out. Of course, once a life is taken, it's irredeemable. You cannot get back life. If you kill someone in error, there is no amount of compensation that can bring back the person to life. So I think that it is far better to get these people through the correctional facility system with the real essence of correcting them, refining them, and reintroducing them back into the society to be able to be useful. In America, so many states have abolished the death sentence, and they have also, readjusted their prison facilities to meet with the global trend, which is a departure from what we took over from the colonial masters in Nigeria, where people. So
all right.
I think we should, apart from reviewing the entire process, instead of making laws, which of course we know that we may not be able to implement. As you can see, the governors are relenting or reluctant in executing those judgments. Why don't we just do away with it completely? And then put these people through the due process of correction rather than punishment.
Okay, we're out of time. I have just 5 minutes on the clock, and I'd really like to take some calls. But I think that there are situations where correction would not work. Because in the event that a person commits a violent crime, especially one that leads to a person's death, if you commit murder, it was premeditated. It was not a mistake. It wasn't, you sat, you planned, you took someone's life. It only seems fair that your own life is also taken, because it would not feel like justice to relatives of the deceased. It just would not make sense.
Sorry, let me interject. I know where you're going because of shortness of time.
Yeah.
I've always asked this question. When you kill the person who killed someone, what do you actually achieve at the end of the day?
Justice.
Because someone is gone, someone is dead. If you now kill the person who committed that crime of murder, I'm not justifying murder. I'm not excusing murder. I'm only saying that the justice you're talking about is justice that you don't gain from. All right? That person that has died, the death of the killer will not restore that person back to life.
So what if this person is not corrected and they are led back into society and they kill again? Obviously, the correction...
Like I said, if you actually activate the correctional methodology of dealing with criminals, criminal psychology, it's not just releasing them back to the society. In America, there's a model they adopted in America, where no matter the offense you committed, they keep you in prison or in correctional facilities. They call it penitentiary in some places, for a period, and they watch your behavioral pattern. Some of these people who get involved in these heinous crimes, some of them get involved in these crimes as a result of drug influence. Some of them get involved as a result of frustration, psychological disorders. Some of them mental cases. So you have a situation where the government comes in to rehabilitate these individuals and then watch how they respond to treatment. And then they are able to ascertain that this person has actually been reformed. Before, you don't just rush in introducing a dangerous person into the society. The person must go through. In fact, the correctional facility is like a hospital of some sort, where they treat your mind. They treat the mind and help you to recover from whatever led you into. And when they find out that it is impossible to get you to think straight, they keep you in a place permanently. They don't necessarily have to exterminate you or to get rid of you, to kill you. They can keep you in a place just like an asylum, where you stay there and the government takes care of you until the day you die.
Okay, Barrister Ode. Thank you very much. I mean, I have no more questions, obviously, because I'm out of time. And you've given us the answers that we seek. We appreciate you for always giving your time. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. I have a request. Thank you. Your private life. I have a request for my son's birthday.
Okay. I'll look it up. Thank you very much. Taking someone's daughter to stay with you without her parents' permission is kidnapping. That's a message on WhatsApp. What do you mean taking someone's daughter to stay with you without her parents' permission? Is this daughter above 18? That means she's an adult. And if she just does not leave, then I guess you have her permission. Yeah, it doesn't really work. But the point is, her permission is also important if she's not a minor. Hello?
Yeah.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, I think we should be frank with ourselves. If death penalty is a solution to kidnapping, I think it's not a bad idea. But I think the reason behind this is to scare away whoever intends to go into such an activity. By the time you hear the penalty is death, it will scare away a lot of people. But that does not mean that the judge, does not know what to do. I think by the time, a kidnapper is being apprehended and the evidence before the judge shows that the kidnapper has gone beyond certain human, sympathy, has gone beyond certain, limits. He has been harsh, inhuman, killing, things like that, then definitely the death penalty should stand. But if the evidence before him, before the judge, shows that the kidnapper has not been too, harsh, mean to their victim, I think there's a way they amend it. But I think the reason behind this death penalty is to scare people away. The moment you know it, I'm sure 50% of kidnappers will be scared and they will quickly stay away from it. I don't know if I'm making sense.
Yes, you are. You're making perfect sense.
You understand? Yes.
Thank you very much. Okay. Well, let's see where this goes. I'm sure more states will adopt this, but if the governors do not sign the death warrants, then it is effort in futility. A program comes up now. After that, we'll have the major news at 6. Please stay with us.